Do you know that Samsung, most phones, especially phones made in China, the presets on the phone when you take a picture makes you more lighter skin. It actually tones your dark skin and make you a little lighter. Why? Because colorism exists everywhere.
South African women have the biggest buttocks. In Nigerian language, we like it. Now, it was traced to their diet. Igbo women are judged or claimed to have the fairest women in Nigeria. Look at their diet. South African woman's bum was traced to heavy consumption of maize. Maize, yes.
I've heard of incidences where ushering agencies are told to bring lighter skinned women than dark skinned women because the perk is they would pay them more for the light skinned women than for the dark skinned women.
The camera was not made originally for blacks. It was made by white people for white people. And the color science for the cameras were optimized for lighter skinned people over darker skinned people. Okay? So tennis, so even back in the day, in the early days of cinema, they get to paint dark skinned people a heavy makeup, heavy powder just to get them to look better on camera.
Welcome to the Resurgence Podcast.
Okay, a lot of you may be wondering why I'm smiling and laughing at the same time. Before the camera started rolling, we're talking about our spec because it has a lot to do with today's topic. So before I talk about mine and before I explain what spec is, I'm sure you guys know what your spec is. I mean, I want a guy that's dark, handsome, tall. So on today's episode, we have Mr. Damola. We have
Draco.
Yota.
Reinhard Tega.
Which brings me to our topic of today, colorism in Nigeria. Colorism, just like racism, is when a particular skin color is seen as superior to the other. In Nigeria, we have the light-skinned women and we have the dark-skinned women and we have the brown-skinned women. Some people like to say, I'm not dark-skinned, I'm caramel. And if we can cast our mind back, maybe we weren't born when Victor Olaya sang the song about Omopupa. We know that that particular song alone raised a lot of controversies about the light-skinned woman. And in today's generation, in fact, from time immemorial, they say, because this woman is light-skinned, because this guy is light-skinned, he is better, he is more beautiful, or she's more beautiful, or he's more handsome than the dark-skinned person. I've heard of incidences where ushering agencies are told to bring lighter-skinned women than dark-skinned women because the perk is they would pay them more for the light-skinned women than for the dark-skinned women. Somebody would say, see those two people that came for interview, if we employ the light-skinned one, maybe when we want to go and sign contract with a big man, once they just look at her skin, they will just know that this one, their company is the best. Let's employ this one. And the dark-skinned person is left feeling inferior than the light-skinned person. Whether we like it or not, the society is segregated. And we need to accept that truth sooner or later because, it's like a case of saying, Nigeria won't happen to me. And then you go out one day and you're denied an opportunity because you are dark-skinned or because you are light-skinned. There's another incident I heard about models. Quote me if I'm wrong. You're in the entertainment scene. There are some artists that call for models for their video shoots. And then when a dark-skinned model shows up, because she is not light-skinned, there can be some kind of prejudice.
Right? No, that's not the case anymore. It used to be that, but not anymore. No, they don't really care. But now, I think it's more focused on features than.
I can speak to that too. Okay. So, is it true, especially in the film industry? I run. So, is it true that fair-skinned girls, both male and female, but especially girls, are more preferred to dark-skinned girls? Yes. Question is. Yeah. And funny enough, there's a technical reason for that.
Okay. Explain to tell us.
Okay. So it goes thus. Who made the cameras? The West.
Kodak.
For who? For whites.
Kodak.
The camera was not made originally for black skin people. It was made by white people for white people. And the color science for the cameras were optimized for lighter skinned people over darker skinned people. Okay. So tennis, so even back in the day, the early days of cinema, they get to paint dark-skinned people a heavy makeup, heavy powder, just to get them to look better on cameras. It's not as bad as it used to be anymore because now they're beginning to with the
New
whole
technology,
diversity, not just the, but with the whole diversity thing going on, companies are also beginning to. That's one of the good fallouts of the diversity thing. Companies are beginning to also internalize and self-check etc. So cameras are beginning to now take into cognizance that. Okay, one other thing. Do you know that Samsung, most phones, especially phones made in China, the presets on the phone when you take a picture makes you more lighter skin. It actually tones your dark skin and make you a little lighter. Why? Because colorism exists everywhere. It's not just a Nigerian thing, although we're speaking as it concerns the Nigerian context, and technology itself even favors colorism. And that's why. So yes, it's the reason why fairer skinned people tend to be preferred on screen than darker skinned.
I think I should say something. Um, I think it's a significant issue. But going by that song you raised, Omo Pupa or Omo Pupa ni mo fẹ́, I feel that maybe that was a contributing factor. That song.
What I've seen is this. We were looking at the fallout
Mm.
of colorism and especially with people bleaching, females especially.
Yes.
But we're not looking at the root cause. How did we get here in the first instance?
Fair skin, light skin. They say that the white man invented camera to more light skin. And in sub-Saharan Africa, the most successful models of the international stage, the none of them were fair skin. The man on the camera, that other people get first she go begin working on the ship. I can't remember, I don't know where she is now. She's no longer in the sea. Most successful African models that have made an impact on the international scene, none of them was fair skin.
Bunny Derrick.
So, so obviously, the colorism is a mental deficiency of the Nigerian or the sub-Saharan African who thinks that a fair woman is more.
Okay.
Now, my co-panelist here, Hilda, said that Olayo's song played a big impact in Yoruba women being the highest teachers. I said, okay, if
Could
that
be.
is-
Could be.
wait, it could be if that is true. That means that Yoruba girls who should be carrying ice block in their breast. No, I think Olaya said that women on your tutu.
That's a philosophical statement now.
Now, that about part is a philosophical statement. So let's read it out. Colorism.
Okay,
preference.
so why are they the biggest bitches?
It is the weakness of their men. Simple. Now,
Yoruba men.
yes, I'm coming with. I'm coming.
You agree with me, right?
I'm coming with it. There are certain factors. South African women have the biggest buttocks. In Nigerian language, we like call it nyash.
I think
So-
South African
South African
women.
have the biggest buttocks. I was in Durban for 5 months on training. I have the biggest buttocks.
What
It
we
was-
was training.
For fast
We are
food,
training-
fast food.
Oh, I
No, we're
thought
the
so. What
fast
the
food.
training?
Fontana famous restaurant in
Okay.
Durban. No, in Durban. We opened our own here in here.
Okay.
Now it was traced to their diet. Igbo women are judged or claimed to have the fairest women in Nigeria. Look at their diet. Most of this thing is dietary side effects. South African woman's bum was traced to heavy consumption of maize. And
Maize.
maize, yes. I look at the consumption of maize in other parts of Africa compared to Nigeria. Our consumption of maize is very low. Here in Nigeria, cassava is our major one. And Nigeria is about 10%. South Africa, Uganda, is maize. All the most of the swallow is maize everywhere. From Tanzania, look at Tanzania women, look at most of them. That's the big. Semovita is our own version of it. How many of us? I'm not a small man, you know why? I cannot roll it.
You prefer fufu.
The woman, the swallow is when you round it and you hair. The maize doesn't give me that texture. So it's not, I'm not a fan of semo. I'm not going to enjoy it. And I do, what do you think? Please, if you have semo, I laugh. However, Now, preference. Skin color is not beauty. I'm toasting a woman who is naturally fair. I know. I'm toasting a woman who is using expensive cream. I know.
How do you know if she's naturally?
Knuckles.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there are some women that actually bleach and then bleach up their elbows.
I'm coming with. I'm not toasting a woman who is struggling with money for, as well as a bleaching cream. I know. It's not evil. However, what is beauty in a woman? I will never take a decision to favor a fair woman because she's fair. Never. Because I won't say I don't like fair women. However, skin color is not a determinant for a beautiful woman. What's a beautiful woman to me? Eyebrows, good nose, good mouth, lovely smile. Color, I don't care. And the most beautiful African women I'm going to tell you today are not West Africans, they are East Africans, Somalia and Ethiopia. Why take your woman?
Well, beauty lies in
The eyes of the beholder. So that's for you.
Well, I'm coming now. I'm going to give this podcast homework today. The most beautiful African women, Eritreans, Ethiopians, and Somalians.
Fairest.
Not fair. They're not fair
I'm
skin.
not talking of face.
They're not fair skin. If you want to see a beautiful black woman, go to
Excuse me.
Eritrea, Ethiopia,
When
Somalia.
the word
What
fair,
you will see, the white people envy them. You know why? They have the white woman's hair.
when the word fair
Black color
is used,
and lovely.
They are saying Fulani women have.
I'm going somewhere. Just a minute, please. When the word fair
Then
is
they
used
learn.
to describe a woman, it is not actually speaking about her complexion.
It's not. Thank you.
as in what you just your context just now.
No, not
It's
my
not.
context.
It's not.
No, but the
When
context
they
in
say
which
who is
she's
the
saying,
fairest of them, but remember this.
we know it's not complexion. We know it's. We know.
No.
Right, we know.
So I was when I
No.
said
No. But Yoruba land.
Okay, you're
That
trying to
is-
correct
wait.
is what you're
No,
saying.
that's
See, Yoruba land now, there is a part of Yoruba that have a lot of fair women.
Ondo State.
Ondo people.
Even Edo people.
are coming. Now, what makes the Ondo woman have more? Ondo people have more fair women than the Oyo Edel.
Let's use
Igbo.
light skinned instead.
I don't know. So you push one down.
all right. So
I can trace it obviously to right.
all right. So let me say something at this juncture. There's a part of this we seem to not be looking at. How did we get here? What is the root cause of colorism,
Yes.
especially in the Southwest? Because the Southwest seems to, there's a sea finish about Yoruba people, Southwest. Because most people live in Lagos. A lot of other ethnics live in Lagos.
Because you people
And
don't
we
like
guys, we
so many
don't
things.
travel out as much.
People don't like go to other people's land.
So it so happens that there is they see us,
Obviously.
sea finish.
Yes,
Let's just leave
obviously.
it at that. But I'm not even speaking to that. I'm not speaking to that. But how we got here is simple. By default, Yorubas tend to be darker skinned.
Mm-hmm.
By default, tend to be, I didn't say all of Yorubas. There are fair skinned Yoruba.
Of course.
I mean, not bleaching, fair
Yes,
skin.
Naturally fair, I know.
In every area of Yoruba land.
Thank you.
But there are much more darker skinned Yoruba people. Step one. And then came the advent of first the Spanish, and then the Portuguese in the 1614.
Thank you.
Okay, first the Portuguese and then the Britons. Fair skinned people to where? Southwest. Of course, they went to the Niger, but to the Southwest also. I'm speaking specifically concerning the Southwest now. And there was this tendency. See, if you've not seen a white man before and you see one, there's a tendency for you to feel like I'm looking at an angel.
No.
Do you think that's why people treat light-skinned people differently?
Okay,
Exactly.
you know what? In answer to
That
you know what?
Get to see.
Okay, can I say something? You're trying to say that it was the coming of the white people that influenced their.
That's where I'm coming
Okay.
to.
But
Colorism and the
Mr. Wakuche
preference
said
for the-
something. Mr. Wakuche, you said that for the Yorubas, is weakness on their men.
We'll get there. in
Him
a
is
minute.
saying,
We'll get there in a minute. Okay. So first of all,
I
you
want to
see a
understand.
white man
Okay.
and you appreciate the whiteness that you don't have, which is the reason why Yoruba men also tend to like Igbo women. A lot of Igbo women are also fair skin color. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with appreciating something that is not so common in your own. I don't know if you're getting this.
we get you.
So if you as a dark-skinned Yoruba man see that your Yoruba woman rather, and you see that your Yoruba men seem to prefer light-skinned, either Igbo women or elsewhere, does it not start speaking to your psyche to do something about it?
I like what you're saying about
it
psyche.
does not automatically say the men are weak. It only means the preferences of the men is influencing what the women are tending towards.
Okay.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
Is it preferences of the men that is influencing the psyche and the decisions of the
Okay, so the preference of the men is straight to the coming of the white people.
I'm going to counter this now.
I know, that one of the factors. Okay.
In Hong Kong many years ago, an ugly woman did plastic surgery. And a very wealthy man married her because he was expecting beautiful children. I'm not Google this case now. The woman paid fine. And when the children came out, he was flabbergasted and said, "What the hell? Kids are not friends, but just my own business." And he did his background check, he did a plastic surgery, and he sued her for deceit. And the court ordered her to pay. Now, good. The Yoruba man marries a woman because he's influenced by it.
Not necessarily marries.
Okay.
Earlier in this
I'm
conversation,
coming with. Let me land now. Okay, now.
So maybe that's
Normally, to me now, if I marry a fair-skinned woman and I'm a black man, maybe I want to dilute my upbringing because me deliberately, I diluted the weakness in my genes. We are short people, so I made sure that I married a tall woman. Now, my kids now have the luxury now to marry a short person. They have that luxury. I say that luxury. I know why. I've seen that the tall genes in me can actually improve a woman who is short. I've seen it clear to me now but now the essence is this.
It's interesting why people get married.
No.
That's a whole people marry for different reasons. So.
Wow.
Love is not the only reason.
My dad was a short.
Can I say something? The reason why I be quiet is because attraction is not physical.
No, attraction is physical. Connection is not physical.
That's for you.
Attraction is very physical.
That's for you.
It's connection that is not.
Mugabe said
whether you break the
no, it's saying the same thing.
Attraction and very
wait now.
When you are connected to somebody, you are attracted to the person. It's right.
You must have an attraction to someone.
Okay.
I'm talking about what you're talking about. Whether I call it two things in one, attraction and connection, work together for you two. But the women I've been attracted to that I like, you will sense this thing of, man, I really like this baby. And then I begin to just calculate how we're going to have.
You're connected.
Let him land. You begin to calculate how
I'm going to approach.
Okay.
I've never been one to toast babe. I don't know how to do it. I've never known how to do that.
You don't have reason.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have. I guess I don't have the reason you guys talk about.
There is less child.
Well, whatever I call it is your business. But yeah, so I've never had that whereby I approach women and all of those things. I think I'm too much of a thinker. I think I overthink things. Yeah. So when I'm actually processing it, I think about before I became somebody that would be thinking about it very much. When I was watching, I wasn't very confident. Yeah, there was that. Exactly. So I wasn't very confident. You understand? Or I would never even talk to you.
Yes.
But I would just be around you every time.
Yes.
I'll give you an instance. My friend in the US right now, Chichi, that's her name, right? We used to go to the same church, Redeemed Church, when I was in Surulere. I was attracted to her. It was in the US she started telling me that I was actually attracted to you too. But we never talked to each other. You understand?
It was just a crush.
It's your fault.
And you will define it as crush.
If I like you, I cannot talk to you, I'll write it down.
And you will define it as crush. But yes, there's that.
I'll drop it.
There's that. She was like what you would consider fair. Right? She was what you consider fair. Light skin. It didn't matter to me if she was light skin or not. I was just attracted to her. Destiny's Child, I'm more attracted to Kelly Rowland than Beyonce.
Okay.
No questions. Is it because she's fair or not? No. Maybe because of her nice features and all of those things, facial features. That's why I like her. You call Beyonce 200 times, I'm like, okay. But Kelly Rowland, I will pay attention to what you're saying. Yeah. The people I've dated after Chichi, when I built confidence and I could talk to people and everything. This other one was fair. Thick lady, beautiful.
See, you like them that have flesh.
I said it earlier. Then the next one was bright like daylight. I wasn't asking that brother. I was even like, I'm not going to date any light skin girl, but that was the one that I was attracted to at the time. I'm saying that to say that
So now you're presently, so you have had 4 girlfriends?
Yeah, about 4, 5.
I'm
How old are
counting.
you?
I'm counting.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Counting.
How old are you?
30.
30. I was 30 2003. And seen it all.
How many girls have you dated?
Let's forget, but let's leave it. Let's not leave it for now. He's like,
you know what I say?
Oh my God.
But anyways, that's why I was quiet because this whole concept of colorism, I don't know where it's going to end up in this conversation, but I'm struggling to relate because attraction for me is really different. When it's more like what we Gen Z people call energy, like you sense this and like, oh, okay. I've experienced somebody's utter words, but it didn't mean anything to me because that's not my. It was we're taking pictures after this. I volunteered for like NGO organizations and everything. The owners' children, they are mixed kids. So this boy looks like the typical Spider-Man character, mixed skin with hair and everything. So we're taking pictures. My friend tells me she was watching. She was like, "He looks better than you. Hope that's okay." And I looked at him. I almost asked her, "Is it because he looks like the Spider-Man character you watch on TV?" You understand? Yeah. But it was in retrospect. I'm like, "Oh wow." It was the mindset that she had. You understand? And it didn't really mean anything to me. I didn't care.
Do you know that somebody else can take that statement psychologically
and it affects them.
And it will affect
exactly.
You see what you were saying. He was saying it cannot really relate to it because for him attraction is not about complexion, but it's beyond one being attracted to the opposite sex. What is a societal issue?
The entertainment industry, if you're going to showcase somebody African, then you find somebody black skinned. Just like the Academy Awards for foreign movie, it is given to films that they speak your local dialect in. This is just business on their own part. Does not validate or invalidate
There's a time
anything about
I was listening to a
color.
podcast that had Cat Williams, and he was going off, and he said something that all of a sudden they sold
John Majors,
as a very good looking African man that has
John
he has
Majors,
big nose.
Can't be covered.
That guy.
She just hit the nail on the head. So come up with stuff for us.
Like Mr. Damola has asked, what is the root cause of this thing? Is it going to end anytime soon?
Because pregnant women are currently taking pills for their kids to come out light skin. I was so shocked when I was in Port Harcourt to find out that some women come to the cosmetic store to buy bleaching agents for their children.
It's an issue. It's a
very big deal.
It's sad. It's sad. But I want to say something.
So a child will go to school and then the teacher tells them, like you're saying, like in primary school, we know you're the best, but we have to give Glory, for instance, the chance to do it because she's going to represent our school in another school. And because she's light skinned, that child comes home and is like, Mommy, she's crying. What happened? My teacher said, oh, because I'm not beautiful enough because of my skin color. How do you develop the self-esteem of that child?
I would have been dismissed from my public service job because a fair woman who was stupid felt I preferred that woman to her.
Right. Okay. Now this brings me to what I have noticed even in the Western world. I mean, from the news and every other thing. The Black Americans always have a fault with blacks, the Americans. So they tend to treat light-skinned Black Americans better than dark-skinned Black Americans. The reasons we've all given are relative, but they are also very, very valid. Because there's beauty standards. Who created these beauty standards that women feel like they have to hold themselves up to these standards to bleach, to be accepted?
The fairest people, they're the highest in the caste, which is the influence of Alexander the Great when he conquered India. What his soldiers did in spreading fairer genes. Now, in the US, many of the so-called fair-skinned Black Americans are descendants of miscegenation white plantation owners.
They are mixed race, essentially.
Not actually.
Let me.
Wait,
Okay.
Chile, African. The sub-Saharan African, because of the equator, is darker skinned. But in some areas, you see some fair skinned people. Signs that it was related to their diet. Not the equator makes you dark. I come from very fair genes. My father married a dark woman. And the woman in my office was always telling me that you are fair. I said, how am I fair? Look at me. Until one day I scarfed my hair with a braid and the whole scarf was fair. That's my real color. But the sun has made me darker. But so it is the height of folly for me to make a decision because somebody is.
You've said this like 72 times.
Yes.
And I actually do not agree. So before she makes that point, let me just say this.
Come on.
You've said this so many times, fully choose over color. See, every man is entitled to his own preference. And what I like might not be what you like. And I might be driven primarily by the color of a woman's skin. Does not make me foolish. Just says that is what I like. That is foolish if he does not like a black woman.
No, excuse me. You are liking a woman who you know obviously has altered her skin.
I like it. I don't, but I'm speaking
on behalf of when it is obvious
those who do.
She has not have the confidence to retain her natural color and is buying Tura every day to alter that color. And
you know what? Here's another alternative. As a woman, I like rich men. And then this guy shows up with a G-Wagon. I'm going somewhere. And he shows up with a G-Wagon. Am I concerned?
You took it all out of.
That woman is concerned if he borrowed the G-Wagon or if it is his. I don't know if I'm making some sense.
You'll be concerned if it is his.
No, at that point you're not concerned.
No, why are you using?
You will not ask him. Would you ask him, is this yours or not?
Yes.
You want a man who's rich, he shows and appears as
you will submit. Yeah.
I said that to say that a man who likes fair-skinned girls, he sees a fair-skinned girl, she's fair-skinned, whether she bleaches or it's natural, she's fair-skinned.
Talked a lot today. I'm going to ask a question here. Who was the first black woman to act in the James Bond film? I'll do that.
I don't know.
No? I'm not going to give us a 50,000 naira if you know it.
First black woman
to act in the James Bond film when James Bond was James Bond, the Sean Connery and Jamal, not this bandits.
Was it in a ton?
No, but one of the greatest ever actresses
was Roman Jones.
That's what I wanted to say. You see this guy? You will give me the 50K. You will give it, yes. I was about to say, and you just come on. No, I said grace and you stopped me. Okay, no.
What man cannot say not to sign of fairness, and when you also portray.
We don't know who brought up the beauty standards that women hold themselves to, but to anyone out there, be you a man or woman, because it's not only women that have the identity crisis that leads them to go into altering the color of their skin to be acceptable. I just want to tell you to accept you who you are. You are beautiful, you are handsome. Your content on the inside is what makes you you. So you shouldn't think of changing who you are because that is how society portrays it. When in the real sense, what you carry on the inside is far greater and far better, and in fact the world. So pick yourself up and be proud of the color of your skin. You are dark skinned, you are light skinned, and you are beautiful. Thank you for joining us on today's episode.